What's good, you guys? Gourmet J here, bringing you a brand new vid, and this here is actually part 2 to my gold build. This build is actually for the more experienced player. The previous build is was for those who are just coming back to the game, or just starting out, or just like a bit of tankiness, a bit more survivability. It's a stick and move build. You do a lot of burst damage, and this is for those who like to strafe or like to have a lot of movement. Let's get straight into it. 7,000 firearms, 3,500 stamina, and 200k skill power. The main weapon is actually the LVOA with responsive, deadly, and unforgiving. So you're probably looking at my toughness like, what in the world, are you kidding me? First off, for the talent, run on the move. There you go. Run on the move for the extra reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds. You have your booster, which is an extra 15% extra damage resilience, and then you have your Barrett's, which gives you the 10% armor when both skills are on cooldown. So let's get into the actual build. Like I said, the main weapon is the LVOA with responsive, deadly, and unforgiving. The second is the house. This is with predatory and responsive. I'm still looking for another house that has deadly and responsive, or deadly unforgiving, or unforgiving responsive. Either of those. Basically, I got roll. So as far as the actual pieces, I'm running with the Barrett's. This build is not optimized. If it was optimized, the toughness and everything will be much higher, but I'm still finding success with this build. This is with skill haste, health, and ammo capacity. I have stamina and skill haste. I actually run with all skill haste mods. I was just testing this out with the crit chance so I can have extra crit on my AR, but I don't really need it, and I'll explain to you guys why. So this build is centered around skill haste, just like a 1.7 hybrid build. And then on my mask, I have Tenacious, rolled for electronics with skill power, and then I have a firearm skill haste mod. And then on my knee pads, I have firearms roll for health, and this is with firearm skill haste as well, with the first aid self heal mod. My holster, it's almost near max with optimization. I have crit chance on here, but I actually usually run with skill haste. But like I said, I was testing out the AR, so I would usually have the skill haste on here, this right here. And then on my gloves, I actually leave the crit chance, the crit damage, and the AR damage. I leave the crit chance there, so I can get as much crit chance as possible without compromising the build. And that's rolled for electronics. And then I have a specialized bag, roll for firearms with ammo capacity, roll for health with firearms skill haste mods, firearms skill haste mod, and first aid self heal mods. Excuse me. So that is the big part of this build is, as you can see, the firearms and also the skill. The skill power is big. So I run with a pulse and a booster. When I go into a fight, I start off with my pulse. It's a 21% crit damage and crit chance pulse. And as you can see, my crit chance on my AR is only about 20%. The reason why I'm not stacking into more crit chance, or why I can even take them off my gloves if I wanted to, because I actually have another pair of skull gloves, AR skull gloves with skill haste. I just have to move my mask around so that I can have the same amount of toughness, same amount of firearms and such. The big thing is, as far as why I didn't keep stacking into crit chance, is because I have my 20% pulse, my 21% pulse, so that automatically gives me that 40%, and then on top of that, I'm running precision for an extra 10%. So as soon as I hit my pulse and I get a headshot on you, I automatically have 50% crit chance with my AR. So if I'm automatically doing burst damage, I'm doing a bunch of crits on you, and I'm face tanking. That's where the unforgiving kicks in, and all of a sudden, when I get to my last segment, I'm hitting like 30. I'm hitting 30k crits on you, straight to your head. So this build can do a tremendous amount of burst damage. I face tank strikers, I face tank nomads, I face tank PREDs. This build, I have absolutely no issue against PREDs. I actually have more success. I'd have probably not as much as my 9k striker, but I have this is probably my second build as far as having the success against a PRED build, and this is why. You're probably thinking you don't have the toughness to fight a PRED build. Well, I run with Rehabilitated whenever I'm fighting against a PRED. The Rehabilitated gives you 2% healing every second during a status effect. So basically, when I have both heals procced, I have both heals procced, or not both heals, both skills procced, and I have that booster, and then I have on the move or Barrett's chest piece, the extra 10% armor. I have all that toughness, and then I have Rehabilitated healing me while I'm sitting there fighting the person. So while I'm on bleed, I'm healing all the time. So if they want to throw say if somebody has a regular pred mark, I'm actually healing more than they're doing anything to me. So if there's a regular preds mark, I'm healing If they're throwing a shock grenade at me, I'm healing. If they're throwing a gas grenade, a disrupt, anything, I'm healing. Any status effect, I'm healing. So this is a big, big, big part of this build. But if you want to run with more damage, you can definitely run with the Tenacious Mask. And that's why I have this to get the 10% extra damage for 10 seconds when you use a med kit. So when I pop a booster and then I'm in my last segment, or usually what I'll do, I'll get into my last segment, I'll pop my med kit, I'll get the 10% extra damage, and then the extra resilience. When you have the combat, when you have critical save, you get an extra damage, resilience. So that's 20% damage resilience plus your booster shot, the 15% extra resilience. So you're running with 35% extra resilience, and then all of a sudden you get a 25% buff with the booster and the Tenacious. And if you just want a better heal, you can definitely go for refreshed as well, which gives you all healing is improved by 30% when you're your last segment. But I usually run with either Tenacious or Rehabilitated. I find more success in there. I do more burst damage, or I'm healing, and I find it works out for me that way. So that's this build. Like I said, this is the version I've had friends who come up to me, some of my tryhards, some of my sweaties, some of my more experienced friends. They said, you know, they feel they're not doing enough burst damage, they're not doing enough damage with the previous build. Well, like I said, the previous build was for those who were coming back to the game, who are just getting back into the groove of things. This build is right here. This build right here is for the player who is more experienced with the game, has great movement, and wants to stick and move, do a lot of burst damage. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay, enjoy the build. I have a couple more builds stored, and in mind, I'm definitely waiting for this next global event to come through. Waiting for Ambush, which comes out on January 23rd. I'm waiting for Tactician and Alpha Bridge. I have great ideas. I have great build ideas for those two. So, I hope you guys enjoy the build. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you.